Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're diving into what I can only describe as a totally monumental shift in the automotive world. We're looking at CATL's 2026 Super Tech Day. Now, this wasn't just a showcase for some new batteries. It was essentially the unveiling of a roadmap that systematically dismantles every single remaining excuse for not buying an electric vehicle. We're talking about advancements here that legitimately challenge the very existence of the internal combustion engine.
Here's our agenda for today. 1. The EV tipping point. 2. Shenxing and 6-minute charging. 3. CATL, beating range anxiety. 4. Freevoy and sodium solutions. 5. The Super Swap ecosystem. And finally, 6. The end of ICE.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the EV tipping point.
So ask yourself, what's the biggest hesitation you, or maybe a friend of yours, has about actually making the switch from a traditional gas-powered car? Even with all the massive progress in the EV space over the last decade, you know there are still some very real, incredibly stubborn psychological and technical barriers out there.
The complaints usually just boil down to 4 classic issues, right? You have to wait way too long to charge, the batteries drain terribly in the freezing cold, you can't drive far enough on a single charge, and the cars themselves are just too heavy, which totally ruins the handling. But here is the breakthrough. CATL's 2026 lineup isn't just some incremental little update. It's engineered as a bespoke, direct solution across every single one of those complaints off the list forever.
Moving on to Section 2, Shenxing, 6-minute charging.
CATL systematically goes after those massive charging and cold weather problems, and it starts with this number, 6 minutes and 27 seconds. That incredibly brief window is the exact time it takes the new Shenxing 3.0 LFP battery to charge from 10% all the way up to a 98% state of charge. To actually make that happen, they reduced the battery's internal resistance to a world record 0.25 milliohms. Think of it kind of like widening a giant pipe so electricity can just rush in effortlessly without overheating the system. This allows for a 10C to 15C charging rate, which basically means the battery can absorb power up to 15 times its total capacity in a single hour. Guys, that is literally faster than pumping a full tank of gas and walking inside to buy a coffee.
To put this massive technological leap into context, let's look at their main rival. Just a month prior, BYD launched their highly impressive Blade 2.0 battery, which can charge to 97% in 9 minutes. By hitting the 6-minute mark, CATL has created a gripping, high-stakes escalation in this fierce industry tech race. They are literally fighting for seconds now, not hours.
And what about that winter weather excuse? Yeah, Shenxing 3.0 destroys that too. It uses this new pulse-rapid self-heating technology that lets it charge from 20% to 98% in just 9 minutes, even in minus 30 degrees Celsius Arctic conditions. It does all this without needing any specialized external heating infrastructure. And remarkably, through precise thermal management, the battery maintains over 90% of its health even after 1,000 of these ultra-fast charging cycles. Absolutely wild.
Let's hit Section 3, CATL, beating range anxiety.
Now we move to the premium segment to see how the 3rd-generation CATL battery tackles our next set of problems, range anxiety, and the notorious issue of heavy EV curb weights. The crucial point here is that by utilizing high-density NCM chemistry, which packs significantly more energy into a smaller space rather than using standard iron-based LFP equivalents, the CATL 3.0 slashes an incredible 255 kilograms off the battery pack weight. That is 1/4 of a ton of dead weight completely stripped from the vehicle's chassis, all while still delivering over 1,000 kilometers of range. Not only does this new architecture save weight, but it also saves 112 liters of physical volume. That's literally equivalent to packing 3 standard 20-inch carry-on suitcases right into the floorboard of the car. It gives designers significantly more room for passenger headroom and far better aerodynamics.
Now, why this matters to you as a driver is that shedding this massive amount of weight translates directly to safer and significantly better handling. A lighter footprint results in a 1.44 meter shorter braking distance, a 0.6-second reduction in your 0 to 100 acceleration time, and a massive 30% to 40% improvement in tire lifespan. Plus, it features thermal electrical separation, which physically isolates high-voltage electrical parts from the system's heat exhaust, practically eliminating the risk of battery fires.
And this brilliantly illustrates their ultimate trump card for range anxiety, the CATL condensed battery. By taking technology originally designed for electric aviation and putting it into passenger cars, they've created a battery with a non-liquid electrolyte. That means there's absolutely no liquid to ignite or leak. It's incredibly safe. Even more remarkably, it achieves a staggering 1,500-kilometer range for executive sedans. Just let that sink in for a second. 1,500 kilometers on a single charge. No way.
Section 4. Freevoy and sodium solutions.
For folks who maybe still aren't quite ready to go full electric and want a pragmatic hybrid bridge, or for those needing extreme budget options, CATL introduced bespoke solutions for you too. For hybrids, we've got the Freevoy 2.0 battery. This uses a fascinating manufacturing process called gradient uniform mixing. Basically, they integrate LFP and NCM materials at the microscopic powder level. This gives you the structural stability of one material combined with the high energy density of the other. The result? A plug-in hybrid that can deliver up to 600 kilometers of pure electric range. That means for your daily commute, you might literally only plug your hybrid in once a week.
Now let's see how they're building out the budget sector. CATL's Nextra sodium-ion battery is officially exiting the lab. After resolving massive industry bottlenecks, like extreme water control, this incredibly cheap, extreme cold-resistant alternative is entering full-scale mass production by the end of 2026. This is absolutely huge for the true democratization of electric vehicles.
Let's look at Section 5, the SuperSwap ecosystem.
But you know, making amazing batteries is only half the battle. To tie all these diverse vehicles together, CATL isn't just supplying automakers, they are aggressively building the gas stations of the future. Welcome to the Choco Swap Network. This is an integrated hub built on a new 800-volt high-voltage architecture. When you arrive, you have a choice. You can plug into a Shenxing Superfast charger for a 6-minute top-off, or you can opt for a completely automated battery swap that takes exactly 99 seconds. You drive in empty, and less than 2 minutes later, you drive away fully replenished.
And they are scaling this thing incredibly fast. They've already partnered with 6 major automaker groups, including big brands like Changan and BIC. They're targeting 4,000 integrated stations by the end of 2026, with an astronomical goal of over 100,000 shared energy supply units by 2028. They are effectively standardizing the EV refueling experience across totally different car brands, acting as a universal massive-scale utility.
Section 6, the end of ICE. Okay, let's step back, look at the big picture, and see what this entire paradigm shift actually means for the global automotive market moving forward. Driven by these relentless cross-category advancements, CATL is just dominating. In the first quarter of 2026 alone, they captured a massive 50% of the Chinese EV battery market. They're maintaining a commanding lead over their closest rivals like BYD, directly turning scientific breakthroughs into pure market supremacy. Which brings us right back to our original problem. The consumer excuses. With charging times that legitimately match the duration of a typical gas station visit, ranges stretching to 1,500 kilometers that easily beat traditional gas tanks, and batteries that literally heat themselves in -30-degree Arctic cold, the technological compromises of owning an EV are officially vanishing.
As CATL's chairman and CEO, Robin Zhang, pointed out, this didn't just happen by accident. He stated that for their technology to succeed globally, it relies heavily on the rigorous quality of innovation and the scientific ability to validate it. It's this exact problem-solving mindset that pushes these innovations from mere lab concepts into credible, world-changing realities out on the road.
Which leaves us with one final, undeniable thought to ponder today. When you can buy a car that charges in 6 minutes, drives for 1,500 kilometers, handles better because it's hundreds of kilos lighter, and simply shrugs off freezing winter temperatures, is the internal combustion engine finally obsolete? Think about it. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in the next explainer.